Hi, welcome to lesson 11. You should be kind of starting or well into your collaborative project by now, having talked to your group members and thinking about your theme and who you're going to interview for their This I Believe essay. So let's take a moment to get started, or let's take a moment to talk about what it is we're going to be doing this week. Now, I did not get nearly enough sleep last night, so I am feeling a little sluggish. So you might hear me stutter a little bit today. I don't know about you, but I feel it. I feel like it's a week in the semester. So let's talk about what we're doing this week. So you should be working on your collaborative project. At this point, you should be starting the project's introduction and conducting your interview. And if you haven't started the introduction, this is the week to do it. So you want to start thinking about within your groups, who's going to do what, who's going to write what or contribute what to the introduction. You want to think about for your introduction that it's a little bit like the introduction at the beginning of the This I Believe essays, the volume, the text. And so, bringing in outside research, introducing the audience to the topic, leading us into this conversation about why the theme and the interview subjects you're going to talk about are important. So, those are some of the things you want to think about for this week. You also want to be conducting your interviews. So, that might not be something you have to do or that you can do in one time. You may need to do multiple conversations, or you may need to have multiple conversations with your interview subject to make sure that the This I Believe essay is really reflective and indicative of their kind of moral philosophy. So that's something to keep in mind. That's why we have to start early. This isn't a project that you want to wait until the last minute to do. It also helps. One of your classmates said, "Oh, this is kind of like a mini This I Believe book." And that's exactly it. Like if you think of this project like a mini This I Believe booklet. So you have an introduction, just like you do in your This I Believe books. You have essays, you have biographical sketches that come after the essays, and then you have a brief conclusion. And within that, you have pictures of the person that you're interviewing. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you are struggling with the interview questions and you need some additional support, you might also refer back to the tutorial conducting interviews in the research topic from the hub. All right, so let's also look at what we're doing this week. So for this week, we are reading essays from volume 2 that focus on gratitude, grief, grace, and redemption, which I think is fitting considering that today is election day and this is an election week. And so I think it's always great to kind of take a moment to think about our gratitude and grace and redemption. You'll also need to read the INRW content page on advising. So registration is opening up. It has already opened up for current students, but for new students and kind of the official kickoff for registration starts in the middle of November. And so this is a great time for you to also be working on your advising. Um, then you also need to complete a lesson 11 discussion. You will need to do INRW content pages and assignments assessment. And then there's a progress report, kind of letting me know how things are going with your collaborative project. So if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email.